and welcome to another episode of my journey through DDP Yoga, physical fitness, general fitness, and just what's going on in my life today. Good news, let's get this out of the way first of all. After a few weeks of being in the red and gaining weight, after the promise I made to yourselves last week, I can happily say that we are back in the green, and I weighed in at 276.4 pounds, which is a drop of about 2.5 pounds from last week. If we can keep that, we're back on track. Let's keep it going. I dedicated myself last week, as I said I would, and increased the reps of some of the stretching and mobility exercises in the Bespoke Workout. The weights that I'm using for the Bespoke Workout are heavier than the previous ones, so I am also taking into account that in theory, if there's muscle growth going on, then that's obviously bulking up, which could add to the weight as well. But either way, we're back on track. It was the third week of doing stand up into the Bespoke Workout into Red Hot Core. It's going well. It could go better. Some work shenanigans last week caused me to be late a couple of days last week, late home, which meant I had less time to do the Bespoke Workouts section. So I did skip a couple of the exercises in that, and instead of doing 100 bicep curls and such like, I did 50. So there was some corners cut. Hopefully that won't happen next week. But I am finding it, again, if you haven't done the stand up, or if you haven't got to the stand up, there's a lot more stretches in the Bespoke Workout, especially with the lower part of your body, your legs and your back, but especially your legs. And I'm finding the hamstring stretch, which is basically when you have your leg out straight, is becoming a lot easier. I've been able to hold it straighter for much longer, and in general I actually feel looser at the back of my legs, which is what the whole thing should be. We're still not quite there with the outstretched leg pose. I've mentioned before, my issues with Bertha's disease and my hips and mobility is making that extremely difficult, but I am doing what I can in regards to that. Other than that though, the other exercises I'm enjoying. I'm not getting to the positions that the people in the videos are doing, but again, they've been doing it for a long time. Well, I've been doing it for a while, but I imagine they've been doing it for a long time before getting to be in the videos, so I'm not taking it too much to heart. And in watching the videos, you're seeing the people in there, they're stumbling, they're struggling at times as well. It gives you that little motivation that when you stumble and struggle, you're not alone. Even Dallas himself has been shaking while doing some things, and when you see that, you realise to yourself, it's okay if I shake, it's okay if I stumble and fall, so long as I get myself back up, so long as I get on that horse and continue with the workout. And that's what I've been doing, and I'm so happy that I have lost weight from last week to this week. Still not the lightest I've been even in this program. Obviously it's not the lightest I've been ever, I was a baby at one point. But since we've been doing these videos, it's not the lightest I've been. So we still have a challenge ahead of us. We're still going to continue on with that. So next week it is still stand up and the Bespoke Workout. I'm thinking though, the week after that, because I did say I was going to do it for 4 weeks, and this is the 4th week coming up. I don't think I'm going to continue with stand up for another 4 weeks. I'm thinking of maybe switching it down to fat burner for 4 weeks, see how that goes with the Bespoke Workout and the Red Hot Core at the end. Time wise, it shouldn't be that much of a difference. Stand-up is roughly 30 minutes, and I believe from memory fat burner's like 26-27 minutes, so there's not going to be much of a difference there. Where it is going to impact on how things work is in stand-up there is the exploding knees, which are part of the Bespoke Workout, so they're not done in the Bespoke Workout. Whereas in fat burner there are push-ups, wired push-ups, so they are part of the Bespoke Workout as well, so certain elements will be shuffled around a little bit, but apart from that it's pretty damn close to what we're doing currently time wise. So it's roughly, with everything, it's an hour a day every day. So I normally get home from work around 5 p.m. Time I get in and get settled, I get the workouts out the way early, because what I don't want to do is come in from work, sit down, relax for a bit, do some things, maybe do some stuff on the PC, watch a movie, do whatever I may be doing, because then you get comfy, you get relaxed, and then suddenly it's like, I'm too comfortable, I'm not going to do it. Whereas if I get into the house and jump on the exercise thing straight away, so straight in, out the work clothes, do the exercises, then I haven't actually, it's almost like I'm still in the commute from work kind of thing, and part of the commute from work is doing these exercises before I actually settle down for the night. That's the mindset I have, and it's the mindset that's been working for me. So I'm going to stick with that. So it's one more week stand up, and then not 100% confirmed, but I'm looking to switch it on to fat burner from there. Personal wise, Josh isn't here this weekend, so I'm going to be working on this video obviously, but I'm also going to continue working on the top 10 movies of the decade feature that we're doing. It is very time consuming, more time consuming than I expected it would be. However, I have worked out how to do a tier list type thing, so how I was going to present the video to you may change, because initially it was just going to be either a voiceover discussing the movies that are in each year's list, or it was going to be like a presenting thing with various images over the top discussing the top 10 list. However, if I can get the tier listing to work, then it'll just be a case of discussing them and putting them in the order that they belong in. So I'm going to test that with the first year, 2010, just to see how logistically it will work, and if that is possible, if that is presentable, then that's what I'm going to do, and that will be an easier way of doing it, because the images, I won't have to be doing a lot with the images with regards to editing them to size and color. Sticking with the personal life, one thing that has happened is the Wales Comic Con has been postponed. It has been moved from the end of April, where it was scheduled to be, to the end of August. How that's going to impact the guests that are scheduled to appear, how many of them will still be able to attend, it's up in the air. It's a logistical nightmare. I do feel for the organisers, the guests, and attendees like myself. It must have been heartbreaking for the organisers to cancel it. Must be a logistical nightmare to try and organise the next one, because you've got to imagine as well, the guests, most of them I would imagine have been paid up front for their appearances, and so will that carry over? How is it going to work for them to get that money back, if they need to get that money back if guests can't make it? Then so many other people having to cancel hotel bookings, like myself. Luckily, I'm very, very happy with this, because I booked a special deal in advance for me and Josh to stay overnight, the Saturday night, so we could go to the convention on the Sunday, not have to worry about travelling, and we were going to stay overnight on the Sunday as well, so we didn't have to worry about leaving the convention early and travelling home on the Sunday. We were going to come back home on Monday, and we booked a hotel at a special rate, but the caveat to that was it was non-refundable. However, due to the circumstances, the hotel has refunded it, and I'm very, very happy about that, so thank you very much. to Booking.com and everyone involved there in organising that refund. At the moment, I'm trying to see if I can get a refund on the advanced train tickets that we purchased. That is going to be less likely just due to the nature of the train companies, but here's hoping. Well wishes and best wishes to everyone affected, which seems to be everyone on the planet at this point with the current pandemic and coronavirus. Various things being cancelled left, right and centre. While it's frustrating, it's completely understandable. You have to put the health of the many before the needs of the few. You have to ensure safety where you can, and it's bled into sports. Recently, at the time of recording this, NXT, SmackDown have came from the Performance Center in front of no crowd. Raw is going to emanate from there on Monday as well in front of no crowd. At the moment, WrestleMania is still on. Whether anything else around the WrestleMania weekend is still on is up for debate. Florida, the state governor has requested that all large gatherings be postponed and not cancelled outright. However, that does not mandate that everything will be. It's up to the cities themselves within Florida. So the mayor of Tampa and his staff will get the final say on whether WrestleMania actually goes ahead. That's going to be a huge blow, and it's not just a huge blow for WWE, it's a huge blow for every fan who's going to attend, the wrestlers. It's a huge blow for all the independent wrestling promotions that would congregate at WrestleMania week. For those that aren't huge wrestling fans or wrestling fans at all, WrestleMania is the biggest wrestling show of the calendar year. Has been for as long as I've been a fan. It's a massive show, and it's grown so much to the point that it takes over the city it's in for pretty much the entire week. So you end up on, like, this typical weekend, if it goes ahead as it was originally planned, you've got the Hall of Fame on Thursday, SmackDown on Friday, NXT TakeOver on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, Raw on Monday. You also have the WrestleMania fan experience, which is basically a convention, meet and greet throughout the weekend. Then all the other independent promotions would congregate in the same area because they know there's 100,000 at least wrestling fans in town that weekend or that week for the WWE stuff, and to fill their time while they're waiting on that show starting, they can put themselves in front of a new audience, get eyes on the product. That's all up in there for all of them as well, and very few of them have WWE's financial resources to absorb the cost of that. So it's a very trying time. It's also a trying time for pretty much every other sports organisation, conventions. E3's been cancelled. It's a scary time, and there's fear mongering on one side, and then there's apathy on the other, saying it's just a cold. They wouldn't be doing this if it was just a cold. It is a type of cold, but it's not just a cold. It's a novel virus, which means it's a virus they've never encountered before. Viruses mutate, they affect people widespread, which is what we're seeing here, which is why it's in so many different countries. People with low immune systems are at serious risk, elderly people are at serious risk, the really young are at serious risk. So even if you yourself aren't specifically at the top level risk of this disease and you do catch it, you are rough for a couple of weeks and you recover, the whole safety measures aren't just for you. You'll be fine, but will your family be fine? Is there anyone in your family or your circle of friends that have immune problems, have conditions that make them more susceptible to the serious side of this disease, if not death? So while you yourself may be fine, the whole lockdown thing is to protect everyone. And while it's frustrating that movies are being postponed, Fast and Furious 9 was supposed to come out this year, it's now not coming out till 2021. Other movies, Milan's been pushed forward, filming on certain things has been stopped. It is affecting literally everything you can think of. is being affected in some way by this. And you can do your part by simply following the correct protocols, going to your doctor if you feel you may have come in contact with it, just to get yourself the all clear if nothing else. Self-isolating isn't an option for everyone. Like, I know I couldn't self-isolate for 2 weeks. I couldn't do it without the pay from work. And work probably couldn't do it with me self-isolating for 2 weeks. Same with other people, obviously, in the company. So you have to do what you can. And that means little things, like ensuring you've washed your hands properly. We all wash our hands, but how many of us wash our hands completely thoroughly? Is that a quick rinse under the sink, or are you there for a few minutes? Ensuring you cover yourself when you cough, limiting handshakes if possible, just little things all add up. But whatever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're safe, I hope you're well, I hope your family and friends are well. In gaming news, I've been playing God of War. I just got around to playing it now. Late to the party as always, and thoroughly enjoying it. It's deliberately much slower paced than the previous God of War games. It is a new version of the God of War games, but it looks fantastic. The mythology, I love Norse mythology anyway. I love Greek mythology, which is where the God of War franchise originated. It was around Greek mythology. This time it's around Norse mythology, and I haven't played through the whole game yet, so I don't know how or why Kratos, the Greek god, is in the Norse mythology areas. But it's interesting because most people will have heard of Thor from Marvel, which is understandable. But that is Marvel's take on the actual Norse god from Norse mythology, which predates obviously Marvel and anything else along those lines. So the Marvel and the MCU version of Thor takes elements of Norse mythology and makes it its own. So it's interesting playing the game to see these same elements, Thor, Midgard, World Tree, the Nine Realms, Odin, all being put into a familiar setting, but in an unfamiliar story. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. There was a scene, for those who played the game, I'm not going to spoil it too much for those who haven't. There's a scene in the game where Kratos goes into a blinding white light. And then there's a little scene you play in there, and then you come out of the light. You're pulled out by your son, Atreus. And for the character, it's been less than 2 minutes. For Atreus, it seems to have been a lot longer, because when you came out, there's a load of dead bad guys around him. Now bear in mind, Atreus is a young boy, and there's bodies piled on top of bodies, so he's had to fend for himself for a long time. And when you come out, and to you it's only been minutes, to Kratos it's only been minutes. Atreus is scared and he's angry and he's upset. And what was weird was when I was playing it, is that I felt bad. I'm not Kratos, I'm just playing the game. But I became so invested in these characters that I genuinely felt bad that Atreus was left and had to deal with this. And it was heartbreaking to see, and it's weird to say that. A few video games have affected me in such a way. I am quite an emotional guy. I do cry in movies, I cry at TV shows, things like that. I cry at fiction quite a bit. You get invested in these characters, bad things happen to these characters, hurtful things happen to these characters, you get upset. A good example, recent example, is any time on the Flash TV show where Barry has an interaction with his mum. And that gets me every time, and I can't explain why, I can't put my finger on it, but it does. And playing this game, I was feeling heartbroken at having put my son in such a position. And perhaps some of it is that Atreus, the character, isn't much younger than my son Josh. So maybe I was projecting how I would feel if my son had been put in that position. But I'm going to be playing it a bit later, so we'll see how the story develops there. Around the house, I did a massive spring clean today. Took me about 4 hours overall. So I was tidying everything away, putting things in bags, boxes, hoovering, dusting, putting clothes away, the whole 9 yards basically. Mopping floors, heading out and let the mopping dry, a couple of washings. I found an old wallet that had £7 in it, which was quite a nice little pleasure, so £7 up on the day. And I also found the handwritten first draft of the book I've been writing and haven't finished yet for about 23 years. It's been a very stop-start thing. I've rewritten the first 4 chapters about 9 times. But when I was spring cleaning today, I found the little ring binder folder with the handwritten draft in it, which made me smile, because it was set in a near future of 2007, which it just felt really quaint that happened. So I'm hoping to get back to that. That's something I say every year, and every year I write a little bit more, and then I lose focus on it. Perhaps we should make a video of it, progress on the book, make that a series, because I seem to motivate myself a lot easier or subconsciously if there's a video series of it where I have to crank something out. Because I do these yoga videos every week, I try and do an unboxing or a bit of everything video once a week as well. If not, I say the yoga video is definitely one a week. So maybe I'll do that, where I chronicle my progress with the writing of this book, because I do believe it's a great story. I do believe it's a captivating story. Some of the elements of the story have actually came out in fiction since then. These things happen, it's a serendipitous thing. It's like when people made 2 competing volcano movies, with Volcano and Dante's Peak, 2 competing asteroids destroying the Earth movies with Armageddon and Deep Impact. Sometimes people just have the same ideas at the same time. With these, they're not quite at the same time. Like Black Lightning, Lala, the character of Lala has a lot of elements of the main antagonist in my story. That's just a coincidence, just happens. Other elements from my story I have cribbed from elsewhere, the ideas, made my own. So it's a swings and roundabouts situation, but I do believe it's a story that's worth being told. I just need to finish it so it can be told. So maybe that's what 2020 is for. I also shifted around some of the shelving, some of the displays in the house. The one behind me has had a new Captain America put on it, the one we did on the most recent unboxing. The main shelf where I had my Gwen Stefani dolls, and a Duke Nukem figure and a few other things, that's been rejigged. I put some new stuff up there. And the shelf in the studio room where the Ghostbusters figures are, I've moved them around just a little bit. So I now have all the Ghostbusters figures on the shelves in the boxes. Just turn them around so you can see the sides. And my Kate Nix picture is back on the shelf as well. That had been moved behind the camera, it's now back on the camera. The one in the living room has had a fair bit of update. The Walking Dead diorama that I did 2 weeks ago is on the shelf with 2 Walking Dead figures that I got cheap from Zavi. I think I mentioned that they were in the 3 for $30, along with a Harley Quinn figure. And what's interesting was the Negan figure was $29.99 on its own, the Glenn figure was $24.99, and the Harley Quinn figure was $24.99, but they were in a 3 for $30 deal. That was amazing. My Jim Gordon figure is on that shelf now. In the spare room, the Gotham City Garage Harley is actually on display now, and it's looking more selective than just things bunched together. As many of you know, unboxing and collecting figures is a passion, and to be able to do that passion is one of life's joys. To be able to enjoy it with Josh, who's getting into collecting as well. He's a Funko Pop kid, and he's got quite a collection of them at the moment, so always on the lookout for more unusual Funko Pops rather than the more general ones. But for now, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for continuing to join me on this journey. Keep sending your messages through Twitter, which like a few of you have done. Let me know how you're doing, giving motivation, giving me some tips and advice, always appreciated. Stand up for one more week at least. I'll see how I feel next week. Bespoke Workout, Red Hot Core, let's get under 275. Let's see, we're on 276.4 just now. Thank you very much. See you again soon. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a great week.